everyone please take their seats? Good evening, and welcome to the 76th Annual Salesianum Alumni Sports Banquet. First, I would like to take this opportunity to invite and welcome our esteemed guests. At our head table, we have our principal, Father Chris Beretta. Returning alumni speaker, Matthew Query, class of 2020. Alumni Association President, Matthew Bamonte, class of 1995. Everyone's favorite MC and local legend, Kevin Riley, class of 1969. Our school president, Dr. Tom Cardish. Our keynote speaker tonight, Teresa Andrews, Olympic gold medalist. And now it is time to welcome the student athletes of the class of 2024. Please hold your applause until all the names have been read. I have to get through 122 of them. Lobson Aguilar, rugby. BJ Aline, football, basketball. Evan Anon, football, lacrosse. Ben Anton, football, lacrosse. Jackson Antonelli, football, rugby. Hunter Ballant, football. Vance Barbado, soccer, winter track, spring track. Jonah Beck, rugby. Nathan Bellapede, ice hockey. Ricky Bennett, winter track, spring track. Brant Berger, rugby. Luke Boardley, ice hockey. Luke Brown, basketball. Matt Brown, soccer. Michael Capriglione, football. Finn Carlin, rugby. Mason Carr, football. John Casali, football, rugby. Chase Delucci, lacrosse. Chase Coda, cross country, winter track, spring track. Patrick Collins, rugby. Matthew Copeland, football, wrestling. Jack Petrocious, football. Leighton DeMasters, ice hockey, lacrosse. Benjamin Devlin, baseball. Stephen Dills, cross country, winter track, spring track. Grayson Donahue, lacrosse. Aiden Dooley, volleyball. Elliot Dotson, lacrosse. Noah Driggs, lacrosse. Quinn Dunner, rugby. Sean Duffy, soccer. Joshua Emmel, golf. Alexander Falkowski, ice hockey. Samuel Felice, cross country, winter track, spring track. Mark Fellenbaum, lacrosse. Sean Fichter, rugby. Brendan Flaherty, football. Colin Ford, football. Ahmad Foster, football, basketball. Michael Julia, baseball. Aiden Gonzalez, soccer. Andrew Hahn, rugby. Justin Hines, soccer, basketball. Frank Holiday, football. Connor Holston, winter track, spring track. Jack Igo, ice hockey. Alexander Johnson, winter track, rugby. Santiago Kendall, soccer. James Kennedy, cross country, winter track, spring track. Christopher Kent, rugby. Dylan Kirby, football, rugby. Braden Cord, winter track, lacrosse. Nathaniel Crofthauser, rugby. Kurt Kuhn, winter track, spring track. Ryan LaFave, cross country, winter track, spring track. Ronan Landis, volleyball. Bishop Lane, football, winter track, spring track. James Lau, basketball. John Libanati, soccer. John Lovett, football. Michael Loyola, basketball, rugby. Nicholas Lucas, cross country, winter track, spring track. Ben Lutcher, swimming. Paulo Magat, soccer. Jeffrey Malik, swimming. Stephen Mangini, spring track. Colin Meredith, football. Gianluca Moroni, soccer. Nicholas Martin, volleyball. Isaiah Matthew, swimming. Cole McCarron, cross country, rugby. James McDermott, lacrosse. Declan McDonald, volleyball. Thomas Medico, football. Ryan Metz, lacrosse. Nathaniel Miller, swimming. Frank Miller, wrestling. Thomas Nagel, rugby. Rowan Nuri, lacrosse. Vincent Offit, baseball. Dylan Ortega, volleyball. Gavin Patterson, rugby. Bryce Patterson, swimming. Joshua Pedrick, soccer. Joseph Pietropolo, ice hockey. Jake Portali, winter track, spring track. Chris Powell, football, swimming, rugby. Matthew Priest, football. Connor Quinlan, rugby. Andrew Ransom, football. Jabril Ray, football, basketball, spring track. Carson Robbins, lacrosse. Jack Rossi, baseball. Ian Savia, cross country, winter track, spring track. Andrew Scott, soccer. Michael Scrivo, winter track, spring track. Andrew Semmel, football, wrestling. Eric Sheets, rugby. Connor Smith, wrestling, rugby. Matthew Spicer, baseball. Luke Steinrock, baseball. Nick Strasowski, football. Christian Sullivan, volleyball. Zachary Swartout, basketball. David Taylor, winter track, spring track. Darren Chuente, cross country, winter track, spring track. Kareem Thomas, basketball. Andrew Tiberi, football. Ryan Toy, soccer. Jason Truitt, football, winter track, spring track. Colin Treepass, football. Marcus Turner, cross country, winter track, spring track. Stanley Tashinsky, ice hockey. Lucas Vahey, lacrosse. Trey Villanova, baseball. Brady Walker, football, rugby. Brady Walsh, football, spring track. Jackson Wild, soccer. Chase Wildermuth, lacrosse. Jake Ziegler, football. Matthew Zuccolillo, swimming. I present to you the senior athletes of the class of 2024. Senior Rowan Nuri will now come forward to lead us in the direction of intention.
Let us begin as we begin all things here at Salesianum, with the direction of intention, which can be found on page 1 of your program. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. My God, give me the grace to form this action with you and the love for you. In advance, I offer to you all the good I may do, and accept all difficulty I may meet there. St. Francis de Sales, pray for us. St. James Shaman, pray for us. Blessed Woodbury Son, pray for us. I now ask that we all rise for the playing of our national anthem, which will be performed by seniors Ben Lutcher on the vocals, and Darren Schwente on the piano.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. I would now like to invite our student president, Dr. Tom Cardish, to share his opening remarks.
Good evening, family. You know, when I first got this job 3 years ago, and I had to do a little talk before the first Mass, those words just came out of my mouth. And I want to tell you how deeply those words ring true to me. Because my family that I was born into had 7 children. And yet, when I had my first child, after 7 years, my wife Christine and I finally had a baby girl, her godfather was not one of my immediate family. It was not a brother, it was not a sister. The godfather of my firstborn, who we so desperately wanted, was a teammate. And I hope that each of you men work hard to stay in touch with each other. The godfather of my daughter McKenna, his name is John Fenton. And John, 40 years later, came to Salesianum for my inaugural Mass from Boston, Massachusetts. And I have to be honest and tell you that that relationship was really driven by my friend John. So I'll ask you men, you senior athletes, who do you want to be? Do you want to be Tom, or do you want to be John? I would suspect the better choice is to be that John, to be that connecting thread between you and your teammates. The things that you've shared, you know, at Salesianum, it's easy to look at the walls around this gym and to see the championships. You are in a very rare place. Most human beings, like me, go to high schools that don't have anywhere near this amount of championships. But what we do have are those relationships that I deeply cherish to this day, 40 years after I was on that team. My teammates are my closest friends. I'm happy to say in June, my wife and I are going to England to watch the Phillies trounce those Mets. Yes, to you Mets fans. But who are we going to be staying with? Who are we going to be staying with? Who are we going to be going to those games with? We're going to those games with my teammates. So I really want you to think about that. If you don't remember anything else from my talks for your 4 years or at graduation, please remember that I want you to take responsibility to stay in touch with your teammates. One of my teammates from college died this week, and his funeral is Saturday. And I know I'm going to go up to outside of New York City, and I'm going to be with his family, certainly, but I'm going to be with my teammates. So I really hope that you do that as well. The other message I want to deliver is one of gratitude. I was hoping tonight that we could recognize one of our great benefactors of Salesianum School, Tony Fusco. I know we've all seen those big trucks ripping out the steps today and ripping out all kinds of fences and things up there. And I really had hoped that Tony would join us tonight. But Tony's in Wilmington Hospital. So before we get to the grace, which is my real job before the meal, I would like us all to say Hail Mary, both in gratitude and in asking for Mary to intercede for Tony. So in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Hail Mary, blessed art thou. Okay, let's say the grace before meals and then we can eat. Okay. Bless us, O Lord. God bless you all.
Tonight is a very special night. I attended my first Salesianum sports banquet when I was 13 years old, and it was for my oldest brother. My grandfather, William Beck, class of 1934, he helped get this banquet started 76 years ago with a few of his Salesian friends. It is such an honor to continue that tradition with you here tonight. My grandfather always had a pen with him, and at any one of these, he would sit down and he would write down when you started talking, and he would write down when you finished. My time is 7:38. I'm keeping track of everyone's airtime, and I've done that for the past 25 years. This banquet started because a few alums got together and decided that they needed to honor the seniors. We would like to take this opportunity to honor all the alumni that are out here in the audience. So if you are a Salesianum alumni, please stand and be recognized. And your continued support for our school, our program, and our student athletes. I would like to say a special thank you to a certain alum and colleague of mine, Mr. Joe Rappacelli, and his advancement team for all of the hard work that they put into planning tonight's event. Joe is the real person behind all the planning for tonight and putting this beautiful night together. So Joe, where are you hiding? Back corner where he usually is. Joe, thank you so much. My team, which are my coaches, who are sitting to my left and to my right. These men and women put in so many hours and days, and that is for you guys. They work tirelessly in the off season, during the season, thinking about what they can do to make you guys better players and better young men. And I am so grateful that all of you have answered the call to work at Salesianum, and I am blessed to call you on my staff. So thank you for everything that you have done for these boys and for me. Thank you very much for this. I also have to do a special shout out to my assistants, David Tyler, who helped me get all the boys organized when we were downstairs. Paul Warlow, Taylor Trevison, and Zach Lawrence, who work with me behind the scenes to make sure that all of our athletics are operating. We have our awesome athletic trainer, Dr. Joe Zerba, and our amazing equipment manager, Chip Hannon. Seniors, tonight is a proud moment for you and your families. This is the first moment you get to sport that white tux. Just like when I'm yelling at you, whether it is in the cafeteria, on the sidelines, or in the student section, it is a privilege and a responsibility to wear Salesianum across your chest and to wear that white tux tonight. I have always wanted to be a Salesian, which is why I wore my white jacket tonight too. Your class has left a mark on the athletic history here on Broome Street. This year alone has been absolutely amazing. In the fall, you brought back that Triple Crown, and you continued that excellence into the wintertime. Over the course of the past 4 years, your teams have been to 42 out of 43 state championships, or state tournaments. You had a 73% winning percentage and brought home 27 league or state titles. That's an average of about 7 titles per year. Considering your junior and senior years alone, your varsity teams have won titles in 10 different sports, and that is simply incredible. Our programs have had such great success because of the depth of the team, the work that you guys have put in, and the commitment that you have put to your teammates and your coaches. I would also like to take this opportunity to formally honor our top athletes. Gentlemen, please stand and remain standing until I've read all the names. Last spring as juniors, the following student athletes earned all-state honors: Chase Salucci, Braden Cord, Rowan Nuri, Ben Anton, and Elliot Dotson in lacrosse, Jake Portali in spring track, Jackson Antonelli in rugby, Ronan Landis and Christian Sullivan in volleyball, and we know that more spring accolades will be coming. For the current year, the following have had all-state and all-star recognition: Sean Duffy, Aiden Gonzalez, Gianluca Maroni, Paulo Magat in soccer, Sam Felice, James Kennedy, and Ian Savia in cross country, BJ Aline, Andrew Semmel, Ahmad Foster, Hunter Ballin, and Thomas Medico in football, Kareem Thomas, Justin Hines, and Isaiah Hinson in basketball, Luke Bordley, Leighton DeMasters, Jack Igo, Gianni Pisetti, Stas Chusinski in ice hockey, Bryce Patterson, Ben Lutcher, and Nate Miller in swimming. Individual state champions include Jason Truitt, Bishop Lane, and Jake Portali in both indoor track and 2023 spring track, Frank Miller in wrestling. All-Americans include Chase Salucci and Rowan Nuri in 2023 lacrosse, and Aiden Gonzalez in soccer. Aiden Gonzalez was also named Player of the Year. BJ Aline, Offensive Player of the Year in football. Andrew Semmel was named Lineman of the Year in football, and Frank Miller won the coveted Beast of the East National Invitational at the 250-pound weight class. Congratulations to these gentlemen. Seniors, you are getting ready to leave these Salesian walls, and I hope that you will always keep the direction of intention close to your heart. Realize it is going to take a lot of Salesian tenacity and patience to accomplish your goals. I may have spent a lot of time reviewing all of your accomplishments, but what I love most are not those state titles, but rather those moments when you show your true Salesian brotherhood and take pride in representing Salesianum. Whether you're helping me set up for a game, cleaning up your bench, cleaning up your sideline, assisting an opponent up, thanking an official. It is those little things that show your true character. Gentlemen, keep doing those little things even after you graduate. Each year, we ask the athletes to vote on a senior to speak on their behalf. The senior class has chosen a young man who is a true team player, with great determination, both on the mat and in the classroom. I am pleased to welcome our very own Beast of the East and state champion, Mr. Frank Miller.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, athletes, coaches, and parents. My name is Frank Miller, and I'm honored to be standing before you today. I'm even more honored to have been chosen by my classmates and friends to speak on their behalf. Thank you. I know many of the parents here tonight do not know me, and I'd hate to bore you with the details of my life, but since Ms. Godfrey insisted, I'll say this. I'm a member of the wrestling team here at Salesianum. While not the most well-known sport here at Salesianum or elsewhere, the principles of wrestling are the same as any other sport. Success takes time, dedication, and an unwavering support system. So in all of these regards, I can relate to all of my athlete brothers here. But tonight, I'd like us to take a step back from all that we've accomplished over the past 4 years. I think it is fitting that tonight, as with all good things that come to an end, we take a moment to reflect on everything we're grateful for. Looking back on our sports careers, as difficult as they might have been in the moment, we are grateful even for the worst days. I mean, would any of this have been worth it if it were easy? Would our accomplishments be as valuable without those freezing cold mornings and those scorching hot afternoons? Would the lessons we learned have the same meaning without the blood, the sweat, the tears, and the injuries? Think of all the nights when you had too much work to sleep or talk to your friends or to even think about yourself. If it had been easy, if our victories had come without sacrifice, would they still hold the same value? Would we be here tonight celebrating? The truth is that none of these young men sitting here tonight would have made these sacrifices if it were easy. Or maybe, if it was easy, everyone would have played a varsity sport, and none of our accomplishments would be special or meaningful. But it isn't easy. I've seen the broken helmets, the broken bones, and the broken hearts. I've seen these men faint and vomit and crawl to the finish line, or nearly drown trying to finish one last lap. And the next day, I see these men back at it again. Some call them crazy. I call them determined, because they know that if they spend every day exhausting themselves in the pursuit of their goals, if they refuse to allow any obstacle to stand in their way, they will ultimately succeed. They know that if they approach life with the same tenacity they've shown me, the sky is their limit. I could go on and on about all that this class has accomplished and will accomplish, but we are all aware of our tremendous success. Tonight is not about reliving our victories, it is about gratitude. So I hope that I'm speaking for all of my Salesian brothers when I say our accomplishments really matter because of the people and the experiences they reflect. The moment of victory, the moment of bliss fades away so quickly, but the things that last, the things that matter, were there the whole time. So brothers, please join me in thanking the people who made all of this possible. Brothers, let's thank our parents, our coaches, and everyone here to support us tonight. I'm sure that I speak for all my classmates when I say we are so thankful for the time and commitment that went into each and every one of us. But most of all, we are thankful for the opportunities and the experiences you have all made possible. I look around this room and we are not the boys we were freshman year. When I see us, I think of the words of our patron, St. Francis de Sales. Nothing is so strong as gentleness. Nothing so gentle as real strength. I say this because it is so true of our athletes. Yes, we have grown physically stronger over these 4 years, but more importantly, we have grown in character. Through every victory and loss, I truly believe that we have been shaped into more humble and gentle people. Through sport, we have gained strength that enables us to choose gentleness. It truly, truly shows. Our athletes are some of the most decorated in the state, possibly even in the nation. Yet, they are also some of the most kind and humble people I have ever met. And I would personally like to thank all of you for being such incredible classmates and friends. Well, fellas, it's all coming to an end. We should all take these last few weeks to really consider all that we are grateful for. Thank the people who have really made a difference in our lives. Thank God for all the blessings He has given us and for the grace He has given us. Remember, guys, it's the end of the chapter, not the story. Let's take what we've learned, go out into the world, and be great. God bless all of you, and roll South, baby.
If you wanted a sample of a product of this institution, there's one right there, I'll tell you. And here's another one coming up. Matthew Query. Matthew was a 2020 graduate of Salesianum. As a freshman, Matt ran cross country and played basketball and baseball. Matt continued with both cross country and baseball his sophomore and junior years before deciding to focus exclusively on baseball as a senior. Matt ran in multiple varsity games as a sophomore and became the designated hitter his junior year. Matt was planning to be starting his shortstop his senior year before all the spring sports were canceled due to COVID. However, he's been given a fifth year because of the COVID clause. Matt committed to the University of Scranton in the fall of 2019. He is currently a senior and playing his fourth year of baseball. This season, Matt is captain and starting shortstop. Matt, in the midst of a solid senior season where the Scranton Royals are contenders for the D3 Landmark Championship and the chance to make the Dean's List, and also named to the Landmark Conference Academic Honor Roll. Matt will graduate in the spring with a BS in accounting, and in the spring of 2025, he will earn a Master's of Accounting. I think I said that right. Please welcome Matthew Query.
Good evening, Salesianum faculty, staff, coaches, athletes, and families. I want to first express my gratitude to have this opportunity to speak at this event, and especially to our senior athletes. I hope each of you are enjoying this special evening and being recognized for your involvement and all your accomplishments as student athletes at Salesianum. It is truly a unique event that is unmatched at any other high school. It is something you will cherish as part of your high school athletic careers. Back in 2019, I was a junior here at Salesianum and had the opportunity to attend the senior sports banquet that my cousin Colin was a part of. I remember the feeling of excitement I had walking out of the event at the end of that night, knowing that that would be me in a year with a white tux on with all of my Salesian brothers being recognized for athletic achievements. It was something new that I began to look forward to as my senior year approached, along with all of the other senior events like prom and graduation. Fast forward just less than a year later, I will never forget the meeting we had in the gym right here with Father Greta telling us that our spring break was going to be extended a bit due to a new emerging virus that no one thought twice about. We all went home that day in March, almost a little bit excited that we were getting days off from school. Little did we know that that day was the last time we as a class would be together in the halls of this school. Virtual classes began soon after that, and the feeling of emptiness and loss of hope began as the Zoom classes kept being extended week by week. Then the uncertainty of the senior baseball season began to set in. Thinking about all my hard work the past 3 years that I put in to become the starting varsity shortstop, going out the window and not having the opportunity to compete was truly an empty feeling. Then came the team Zoom call with Coach Godfrey informing us that there would be no baseball season. I was crushed, realizing that the semifinal game against Carabel my junior year was the last time I would wear the blue and gold. One of my best friends and teammates, Joe Sheets, said it best when he said, "The athletes are the only ones who truly understand the value and importance of being part of a sports team here at Salesianum." It was heartbreaking to watch it end instantly. Knowing how special a place Salesianum is, and the people that make it this way, I knew that Father Greta and the faculty would not let the pandemic get in the way of sending us off to college or the real world with no farewell. I have so much gratitude for Father Greta and the faculty for all their hard work and efforts to still hold a sports banquet and graduation given the circumstances. They managed to put together a wonderful virtual sports banquet and graduation while also giving us our white tuxes to wear while tuning in, which was the most special part of it all. I will never forget the graduation stream ending and looking down at my phone and the excitement I felt as the word was spreading that many of my fellow graduates were heading to 18th and Broome to say our final farewell. As promised by Father Greta, there was an in-person graduation held 1 year later at Abyssinia Stadium that was so memorable. Seeing how many of my classmates returned, showed how everyone knew how much Salesianum meant to each and every one of us. So senior athletes, now that I have shared with you my experience when I was in your shoes, I want to explain what that unique ending to my time at Salesianum has taught me and what has stayed with me 4 years later. With the pandemic coming at the tail end of my time here, the brotherhood and community offered was something that I was so grateful for when reflecting on my time and experience in my 4 years. The ability to have friendships with people from all different backgrounds and interests is something unique that comes with this special place. The relationships built here do not end when you leave the halls of Salesianum. This brotherhood extends beyond those that were here during your 4 years. It stretches to the generations that came before you, who were the stepping stones to what Salesianum stands for today, just as you guys have made your mark to leave for future generations. As you move on from this great institution, you will realize how much you gained and how much you will carry with you for the years to come. Since graduating in 2020, I've experienced the Salesianum Brotherhood network firsthand. About a year ago, a 1989 alum and good friend of my dad's, Dave Burke, offered to reach out to a private accounting firm in Wilmington on my behalf, which led to me being interviewed and hired as a summer intern. I also had the good fortune of meeting a Salesianum alum named Matt Boley, class of '91, about 6 months later, very randomly walking out of Dick's Sporting Goods over winter break. He approached me in the parking lot, saying I was wearing an S on my sweatshirt. I told him it was actually a Scranton S, but that I actually graduated from Salesianum as well. We got to talk, and he coincidentally works in the accounting field that I am looking to enter and offered to personally recommend me to a few professionals he knows at top public accounting firms in the tri-state area. This led to me having multiple interviews and ultimately securing an internship at the firm I was aiming to work for this summer. Athletes, I hope by sharing this I've shown you the value of the Salesianum Brotherhood that lives on beyond your time here and the vast impact it can have on your careers. Connected to through the network built here that are always rooting for you and will do anything to help. Aside from the brotherhood, there are parts of Salesianum that you will hold on to that I have found myself taking with me beyond my 4 years here. For example, the direction and intention set before every school day, class, school event, and sport event is a prayer that has become second nature to all of you. It will stick with you and help you through every challenge you may face. I use this prayer every single day, whether it's before an exam, a baseball game, or simply just a day that I feel I need extra strength. Hold on to this Salesian prayer and realize its power and value. Not all of you will go on to play sports in college, and even if you do, everyone will play their last game at some point. I'd like to share a quote from John Wooden, the legend college basketball coach who won 10 national championships with UCLA Bruins over 12 years. Wooden said, "What you are as a person is far more important than what you are as a basketball player." My hope is that you will keep this in mind and focus on your character even more than being an athlete. Keeping a healthy balance between your sport and life is crucial. Not letting the outcome of a game or event carry over and affect your day and life. This is the message that I've came to learn through losing my senior baseball season and that I decided to focus on ever since. I want to congratulate all athletes whose careers have already come to an end, wish good luck to all those still competing, and those going on to continue their athletic endeavors in college. Go Sals and live Jesus.
"47 out of 48 teams made playoffs or the tournament. Father Brennan, did you coach the one team that didn't? Are you sure? Our next speaker is someone really special. Teresa Andrews is the marketing vice president at Humana, serving in the primary care organization, leading the PCO sales operations stream. In her current role, Andrews is responsible for leading the sales operation plans for the 200-member PCO sales team. In previous roles, Andrews led Humana neighborhood centers for 4 years. In addition, in 2019, the CRM service deployment to over 15,000 associates, in addition to supporting knowledge management and digital service teams for enterprise shared services. Teresa joined Humana in September 2014. As an elite athlete, Andrews was a 3-time NCAA champion and 18-time All-American swimmer at the University of Florida, where she helped the school win its first NCAA women's swimming and diving national championship in 1982. She also captured back-to-back Southeastern Conference titles in the 50-yard and 100-yard backstroke and was part of 4 conference title-winning relay teams in 1982 and 1983. As a member of the Indiana University Bloomington squad during the 1980-81 season, Andrews won 6 Big Ten titles and participated in 6 events at the 1981 Association of Intercollegiate Athletics for Women's Championships. Andrews went on to earn 2 gold medals in the 100-meter backstroke and is part of the 400-meter medley relay team at the 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. She shared that medal, one of the medals, with us today. It weighs a ton. Andrews was awarded the 2008 National College Athletic Association Silver Anniversary Award. The award recognizes former student athletes who completed successful collegiate careers in various sports and excelled in their chosen professions. The Silver Anniversary Award acknowledges that the former student athletes on the 25th anniversary of completing their athletic eligibility. Andrews resides in Wilmington, Delaware, and her family. She volunteers with the Delaware Food Bank, the U.S. Olympic Alumni Committee, and the United Way Delaware Pride Committee. This is a gal that set goals and achieved them all. Please welcome Teresa Andrews.
I'm going to ask for a little help, and then I'm going to do a little introduction. So,
you look trustworthy. So I want you to pass this down. And I'm a swimmer, so I'm a fast runner. So if you go to the door, okay? That's the real gold medal laying around.
I take the gold medal wherever I go, so the family can come after me afterwards, but I'm trusting the white jackets right now. I want to first off thank Frank, Matt, and Kevin. Boy, young men, those were beautiful, beautiful remarks, and I just take my hat off to you. I am thrilled to be here for a lot of reasons. One, my nephew graduated from Sally's in 2011, so I'm really proud. Secondly, Joe Rappacelli is my brother-in-law. So I was thrilled when Joe came. And Joe, I am looking for Sal, Isabella, Sophie. Can you guys stand? Okay, over there. Is Gabby here too? Ah, these are my nieces and nephews. These are Joe's children. So please, oh, Christina. If I ever tell you anything, you'll hear at the end of my remarks, you need to always acknowledge your family. I would like to acknowledge the Sally's administration. I remarked coming in, I can see the coaches to the right and my left. And I don't know you personally, but I know your efforts. I know the difference that you made in my life as an athlete to get to 2 gold medals. And so I was very proud to walk behind your tables and know the contributions and the impact, not on the athletes, but as a person that you helped these young men do. And I'd also like to congratulate the parents. I've just been sitting back here reflecting on how many banquets my parents sat through and when I went through high school and college, and the pride that I can see in this room. I don't think there's a better night that I could be a part of tonight. When I went to go achieve the Olympic gold medals, I swam out of Baltimore. So I live in Wilmington now, but I grew up in Annapolis, Maryland. I want to share with 3 experiences about the Olympic gold medals as you all get ready to watch the Paralympics. The first experience I'll share with you is I was never, ever supposed to make the Olympic team. And I was never, ever supposed to come home with a gold medal. And I want to share a couple lessons I learned how I got to that achievement. Many of you might know a young man by the name of Michael Phelps. Yeah? Same coach, same club. When I'm with Michael, I always like to tell him, you have the most medals, but I have the first. And so I was the first athlete, not woman. I was the first athlete to win a gold medal out of Maryland. And one of the remarks that Bob Bowman, who's his coach, said to me, and I see Bob often, and I see Michael still, and Michael has a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for Michael, but Michael also has a lot of respect for me, because one of the things that both Michael and Bob say to me often is, you made us believe that out of little Baltimore, Maryland, we can produce Olympians and be very successful. Not only was it Michael that everybody knows very well, but North Baltimore Aquatic Club went on after me to produce 14 Olympic athletes. I always share with folks that my coach, as I look at these coaches, didn't teach me to be the best swimmer in the world. He taught me how to be the best thinker. And that in life, you are going to be handed conditions. And an Olympic athlete never has a perfect race. They can imagine it, but in athletics, conditions are going to be handed to you. They are. And the opportunity is, are you ready for plan B, plan C, and operationalize it? One of the very first lessons I learned, and when I shared the story that I was not supposed to make the Olympic team, in 1980, they took the top 3 girls for the Olympic team. I was 4th by 0.3 of a second. In 1981 was my one and only national championship title. 1982 was Pan American Games. These are all major international meets that you want to make to go into the Olympic year. They took the top 3 girls again, and they took the top 2 girls. I was 3rd by 0.2 of a second. 1983, World Championship trials. I was ready, top 2 girls. I was 3rd again by 1/100th of a second. There's a lot of adjectives that follow that. I swam 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. I had 2 weeks off out of the year from age 14 to 20. I felt like a failure. I felt like a failure because I put all that time in the pool. So here I am going in my last year for the Olympics, and everybody's writing me off saying she will not make it. She'll be at the very end, but she doesn't have it to close it out. But I knew deeper in my heart I did. But I will tell you the one lesson I had to learn, and I would share with you, because at some point you're going to stumble. At some point something's not going to go right, was I had to learn how to be humble and accept my accountability. And when I sat back for that last year to begin to prepare for the Olympic Games in 1984 and give it everything I had to be willing to go back and reflect on my failures. Did I give 100%? No. Did I show up to every practice with the right attitude? No. Did I let my coach guide me the way I needed to be guided? No. Not that it wasn't 60%, but it wasn't 100%. And so the offer I offer to you is that even though I was so disappointed in those 6 years, by getting humble and accepting the fact that can I put together a plan and understand that I have to take full responsibility and give 100%, that was the difference that really helped me move to that next level at the Olympic Games. The second lesson I learned in that Olympic year was that in October of 1983, my coach decided that he was going to have a get-out swim. And I know there's some swimmers here, so I know they understand that message. I got little head bobs. A get-out swim is they give you a certain time, and if you achieve this time, you get to go home. And if you're swimming 6 hours a day, you'll swim pretty darn fast to get out of that pool. As we're getting ready to do the race, my coach, and I swam at Loyola High School. So I swam in all-boys high school. And I trained with the high school team. I was in college at the time, and I took a year off from the University of Florida. So I'm swimming with the high school boys at the time. And he goes, well, here, Teresa, we're going to do a 200-yard backstroke swim. You're going to swim against the 7 guys. And if you can beat all 7 high school guys, you get to go home early. I said, no problem. Let's do it. And we get all lined up, and he goes, hold on, Teresa. Before we get started, where this young man is the second table, he goes, all 7 guys get to go to that table, pass the backstroke flags, and they get to get a head start. And you have to start at the blocks. And I'm like, he goes, take your mark. I go, whoa. What are you doing? He goes, this is fair. I go, this is not fair. Why are you giving him a head start? He goes, no, this is fine. And I'm thinking, Murray, this is not fair. That's my coach. I said, I could probably catch 5 of the guys with that head start, but I couldn't catch the other 2, and I knew it. And I said, why are you giving them a head start on me? He goes, I'm not, Teresa. And they, you're all quiet. And I looked at him and he goes, you are giving that head start every time you go to a swim meet. I go, what? What are you talking about? He goes, Teresa, 0.2 of a second, 1/100, 0.3 of a second. Before you get up to the race, you predict the end, you don't go through the process. Sometimes we are our worst competitor, not the people we're competing against, because we have self-talk that says, I can't do it, I can't do it. And it almost pulls you back in the wrong direction. He had been trying to teach that lesson to me for 6 years. I just thought didn't have the ability. But when he gave me that moment of seeing that head start, he goes, that's the head start that when we go to meets, you predict the end and you say, Betsy Mitchell's going to be better, Sue Walsh is going to be better, they can do it. That's, for me at the Olympic level, it was the difference of my mental attitude and my way to prepare for a race. And his last closing comment to me was, Teresa, can we just go and swim the race at the Olympic trials? And don't judge it, we'll judge it once you hit the touchpad. The last lesson I learned, and I think I'll share it because I see a lot of parents out here tonight, is two things. One is that I realized at age 20, when I was trying to go for the Olympic Games, I had to ask for help. I had to tell my family, I had to tell my coaches, I had to tell my friends. I could not do this, and that I always like to do a little medal check. Where's that medal? It's my kids' one. Okay, I like this. I hear it. If I could divide that medal up to 1 million pieces, that's how many people I would have to thank. Not about Teresa the athlete, but Teresa the person and my development. And I say that because it took me a long time to learn. Not only I have to ask for help, and I asked for that here, but I also had to be willing to give help. And when I was swimming at Loyola High School with all the high school swimmers, there was a lane 8 in our pool, and I always swam in lane 8. And my coach always says, get in the middle of the lane. And I'm like, no, I'm swimming in lane 8. And it was all the 8th graders were in that lane. And he goes, why are you in that lane? I go, it's an old pool, and that's the only place where the heat came at. And I wanted to be by the heat. So I had these 8th grade, and I still see these men now, with their children and their wives. But when they were 8th graders, I said, guys, here's the deal. I'm going to help you make every set that we're in. You just get behind me, and I'm going to pull you through this set. But I need you to understand, when I come through, get out of my way. And so the whole year, I helped develop them to build the stamina for the practices. But at the same time, too, they knew when I was dragging. They knew when I was dragging. And they knew when I was being frustrated with a set. And those 8th grade men were cheering me on and telling me that I could do it. So you never know where the support and the encouragement comes. And I thought about this too. I will share that, when I was 6 months out from the Olympic Games, I quit swimming. And I never quit swimming. I love to swim. Maybe a Friday night I didn't want to go, maybe a Saturday morning, but I loved swimming, even with all my disappointments. But 6 months for the Olympic trials, I left the pool for 2 weeks. I had to go face my parents. And my mother, and I'm one of 12 children, 8 brothers, 3 sisters, big family. And I went to my parents and I said, I'm just going to go back to the University of Florida and get my degree. I'm not going to pursue the Olympics. I'm going to go back and just get my degree. And my mom and I sat alone and she said, that's fine, Teresa, if that's what you want to do, but tell me why you're quitting. It was a hard conversation. And I probably had to look at her and say, the only reason that you, Mom and Dad, you love me is because I swim a 101-100 backstroke. And my mother looked at me and she goes, well, then let's quit swimming, because that's not why we love you. But I'm sharing it with you as parents is that they need to hear it over and over. It's not the accomplishment. And my parents loved me. They never put any pressure on me. It was more of my feeling of the fear. But I had to say it out loud. And once I said it out loud, she said, well, then let's just quit swimming, because that will not change how we feel. It kicked a door open for me. But sometimes we always want to talk about the effort, but just sometimes just tell the person that they just are just great at who they are. Raising your hand and asking for help. I think the last thing I like to say is that medal's making the rounds. I'm very proud of showing this medal around in the last 40 years. But really the medal, still see it. Are you on the track team? But the medal to me is not about being the best in the world. The medal to me, if I share that, what it's symbolic for me is about being the best prepared. I was the best prepared that day in 1984 physically. I was the best prepared mentally. And I was the best prepared as a teammate. I gave help and I also asked for help. So as I look across to you young men and your accomplishments and where you're going to go in your future, first off, congratulations belonging to an amazing, amazing community that will be a lifetime for you because I can see it. And then secondly, I think I heard it, I hope I'm going to say it right. Roll Sallies? Roll what? Roll Sal's. Thank you.
Roll Sally's reminded me of something. I'm in grade school. I went to St. Mary Magdalene, and we were called the Maggies. Then I come here to Salesianum, and we're called the Sallies. Thank God I was a Wildcat at Villanova. You know, one of the things that I had a memory of today when I came in here, it's been a long time, but there was a very, very special person to me that passed away earlier in the last 12 months. His name is Father Robert Ashenbrenner. For you alumni, you remember that name. This guy was the closest thing to St. Francis de Sales as you'll ever see in a human being or a Catholic priest. Everything about him was humble. He drove the bus, he cut the grass. And one of the jobs he had was on football days, games over Baynard Stadium. He was the not only the guy that had to put out all the uniforms, but he was the trainer. We didn't even have an athletic trainer on the field in those days. Tim Montero was the coach, and his starting quarterback got dinged in the first quarter, and I think it was Charlie Michael Majeski. He came out, and he obviously was, shook up, and Father got to him and took him and sat him down on the bench, trying to get him to come to, get better. Pneumonia caps under his nose, nothing seemed to be reviving him. And finally, Coach Montero says, "Hey, Father, get over here." He said, when's Michael Jeske going to be able to go back in the game? Father Ash says, "Coach, he can't go back in the game. He doesn't even know his name." Coach Montero said, "Tell him he's Johnny Unitas and send him back in." Well, one of the things I want to follow up with these two great speakers. It was hard, but I'm an alumni here. I just have to share this with the guys that are graduating from this great school. When somebody would say to me, "Well, what did you get from Salesianum?" I'll give you some instances of your future right here. I got a great education. I was never left behind at Villanova in the studies because of the way they prepped us here. A great value system that I treasure. Great teachers, great coaches. They pushed you, but they loved you. Coach Vermeil says, in one thing, people don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care. And you got that from the coaches here. Also, I got the total validation that Catholicism was the best religion in the world. And last but not least was the brotherhood. And I'd like Mr. Cardish to hold this up. The brotherhood, as we know it, and we exclaim to each other, is Tenu Necta Mitam. This is another little thing that I give to people. I do counsel some people who have lost limbs. And the first thing I do is go in and tell them that they're not alone. Welcome to the club, and I give them one of these shirts. And I think it also speaks to what we do here at Salesianum. You guys didn't bring home 13 championships, which is a school record with maybe one or two more to go, because you were just great athletes. You suffered your freshman year when there wasn't any sports. You really got a bum deal. But you know what? That makes you work harder. That makes you want it more. And you guys did that. Tenu Necta Mitam. I talked to a lot of people about that. They want to know what it means, and you put it in this really simple English. It means I have taken hold and will not let go, or I will never give up, or tough times don't last, tough people do. I've been around the country, 27 states, doing motivational talks, and I can tell you about every time I go out, there is somebody in that crowd that comes up to me and says, "Take away neck to me, Tom." I don't recognize him. I may never have met him before, but I can tell you instantly, we are together. We know each other went through. We know the value system and all of that. So you guys got a rough start. Yeah, that's true. But make sure you take advantage of it. You have been given the tools by this school and your parents to succeed. And just like Teresa said, you've got to believe in yourselves, and I think you do. But going forward, as St. Francis de Sales would say, be who you are and be that well. Be the very best that you can be and challenge yourself. It's not against the competition. It's about you. I also validate strongly what she said. If you're having troubles mentally, talk to somebody. Big old linebacker me, I had to get some counseling at one time because my head was screwed up. It's okay. This is a crazy world we live in. So I'll leave you with this as we go away. You know, this is a great school. Make sure you carry on with the honor that it deserves and you deserve and your parents deserve. And the last thing I'll tell you is remember this, and this is why we're all here on this earth. The only thing we take with us when we die is what we give to others. Make sure you're kind to everybody you meet out there. With that, I'll turn it over to Father Beretta for the closing prayer.
There's no way I'm letting you start until we get that medal back.
Starting? Okay. Got it. Before our closing prayer, I just want to thank everyone here tonight for continuing this really great tradition. For parents, you are your son's first coach, equipment manager, trainer, nutritionist, motivational speaker, chauffeur, and undoubtedly biggest fan. So this is a night of pride for all of you, and we're happy to share it with you. For alumni, this is a night filled with memories of your time at Salesianum. I need to recognize 3 alumni, 2 of which are here, and 1 of whom's not. First of all, I want to thank Matthew for coming back. That talk a little bit down memory lane in 2020. That story he shared about, we had an online graduation, and as he put it, he got a notification on the phone that people were going to meet here wearing their tuxes that we had given them, and had not anticipated that there might be a massive pep rally on the front lawn during a pandemic. And so as we started to hear the noise outside, guys just yelling, screaming the alma mater, and Father Brian and I walked out front on the steps and got this thunderous applause, and he's like, "This is really kind of cool." And I said, "I think I'm going to lose my job." But yeah, this is fun. It's funny, I have different perspectives on that. Matt had straight out of that. It was a great moment. Another person who's here tonight, there's so many coaches, so many administrators, so many staff members, so many parents, people who have just follow Salesianum so faithfully and are here day in and day out. However, there is one person here who I guarantee you has seen more of your games than any other person here in terms of collectively, all of you. He's a member of the class of 1944. And he's a World War II veteran. And Guido goes to freshman games, JV games, varsity games. He definitely is here more than anybody who's paid to be there. And I just want to thank you, Guido, for being so faithful to us all these years. Last, I just want to remember an alum who was seeing where you guys are 11 years ago. Brady Cotler, class of 2013. I mentioned him in school the other day. Brady was a member of our baseball team, and he's fighting for his life right now. Excuse me, in Miami. And he's just want everybody tonight, when you go home, I just want everybody to pray for him and his mom. It's a really, really tough thing that they're going through. I want to talk about toughness. I think we can talk about him a lot more in days to come. So it goes by fast. It goes by really fast. I think you guys are starting to feel that now. So we're putting toughness on tonight. We're still in the Easter season, and one of the most important words during this season and during Holy Week is passion. The passion of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to John, for example. We use that word today, passion, in a few different ways. To talk about the hunger and thirst for excellence that all great achievements demand, the total effort, a passion for your sport or for your career, or a passion project around the house, or for me, school. Or we can talk about passion in a romantic sense, the intensity of being in love, of giving ourselves completely to another person. But the word passion actually means to suffer. To love something or someone so much, we're willing to suffer because of something greater that can be accomplished if we do, or for the good of someone we love. Jesus on the cross, who loved us so much he was willing to suffer and even die for us. Seniors, as athletes, you've spent time training, trying out, competing for a spot, taking a risk, pouring yourself into something you love, to push physical and mental limits with commitment, with passion, all for the chance to wear the S or the gold helmet, to step into the batter's box or onto the blocks, to march through the gates of Abyssinia Stadium or to line up on this very court. I would submit to all of you that the single most defining characteristic of Salesianum is not banners, it is not trophies, it is not stats. It is passion that sets us apart, a passion for excellence, a passion for teamwork, a passion for respect and selflessness, a willingness to shed blood, sweat, and tears, not only for yourself, but for your brothers. We may sometimes taste defeat, but we will never, ever be outworked or out-hustled. There's a lot of talent in the room here, there's no doubt about it. But we win because we want more. I truly believe that. Because at our best, we do it for each other. Frank, I want to thank you for your great speech tonight. I'm going to paraphrase you, but as you said, if victories that we have won had come without sacrifice, if they were easy, those accomplishments would not have been as meaningful. I could not agree more. Ours is a tradition built on humility in regard to individual achievements, but relentless pride in the accomplishments of one another, and the devotion to this brotherhood that those outside these walls will never understand. Many who have gone before you and worn that same white tux and that same S are here tonight for you, because watching you compete with that same passion reminds them of their greatest memories, of a time when they carried that banner of gold and white. And one day, sooner than you think, it will be your turn to return and root for those who follow you. That is the meaning of Ten We Neck Keynote, to take hold and never let go. I want to close with a lesser-known quote from St. Francis de Sales. God despises the peace of those he has destined for combat. God despises the peace of those he has destined for combat. What that means is, life is hard. And though the qualities of a Salesian gentleman include humility, gentleness, and compassion, they also include tenacity, the grit and toughness to fight for something you believe in, even when you face resistance and must overcome disappointment. Your greatness as a teammate and as a Salesian is measured not in wins or banners. Your greatness here is and always will be measured by your willingness to sacrifice and your love for your brothers. You will always remember these days because the passion you had for competing creates memories that cannot be erased. Tonight, for all the successes and championships, for the joy of all the victories you've won, we are grateful. But for the adversity, the the losses and the disappointments, and the old phrase familiar to some of us, for the agony of defeat, we also give thanks. Because those were the moments that tested you, the moments when you grew, the moments you learned to fight without counting the cost. Someday, probably sooner than you think, you will need that true and gentle strength to persevere, to face the seemingly insurmountable challenge. And at that moment, I pray you will be the best version of yourself, a true friend, a fierce competitor, and a Salesian gentleman prepared to do all things passionately well, and ready to make a difference in a world that desperately needs you. For God despises the peace of those he has destined for combat. Let us pray. Loving God, we thank you for your many gifts, for our health, our successes that we have enjoyed, and the disappointments from which we have grown. Most of all, we thank you for the gift of one another, those we have shared these moments with. Upon these seniors, we ask for continued blessings and the grace of bright futures and many opportunities still to come. As Salesian gentlemen, may they always be gentle and humble and strong in the spirit of our patron, St. Francis de Sales, that they learn to live each day well, to give generously their gifts, and to share their passion with the world in need. And we ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. The Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless us all, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you all for joining us and continuing this wonderful tradition. Have a wonderful evening. Live Jesus.
Thanks.
It's cool. Is that a lot of beer?
Absolutely.
You two right here. Different than us, you're saying?
Well, not different than that.
Well, you're 5'3".
I know. 5'3".
Let's go.
I'm gonna come in with a 1, 2, 3. One, two. Thank you. Perfect.
You got it.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Father.
That really was
Appreciate it.
funny. You painted a very tame picture.
Yeah, that's why when I was writing, I was like,
there was a little
Very
I was
tame.
I was like,
Very
yeah.
tame.
When you were saying, I was thinking the same thing because that night I got a picture of him. Green.
Oh, I got
Oh,
sick.
yeah.
And so we were
He's like, cigars.
and I'm like, we were getting the pictures, whatever, and he's like, did you have to try? Oh, he was like, he got sick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I was like, what are you in here now?
Cigars will do it. They'll make you.
Yeah, Jesus. He was so like, because I was lighting other kids, and I was holding it, and I was like, and I was probably inhaling it, not knowing it.
They're inhaling it by just taking off.
Yeah, exactly. What's his name? What's his name? I didn't play with you, but
Bro. Connor Campbell.
no, his dad was. He played with you here. He played freshman year, sophomore year. His dad was sitting out at his field here. Drawing blank on his name.
Oh, not too long.
No. Back then.
There were people driving by.
Yeah, they were like,
Oh, I'm sure. You'll kill everyone.
yeah, they were like, I was right there.
That was Friday.
Oh,
Saturday night was yes. Oh yeah. So to get it off you.
Oh yeah, it was like.
We're good.
Next story.
Imagine this. Imagine if it opened. And you drive by. Smoking cigars.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Oh my God.
That would be ABC News.
I'm telling you, it was
God.
I still have that Andrew Boyle sent to me. He compensates for a later posting. And I was like, never. Now it's like, now
Yeah, I was like,
long
you're out of it.
I'll be able to show those guys at school tomorrow.
Yeah.
That was true. I was like,
Yeah, no. I remember looking down and I saw how many people were.
I